Juan Esteban Aristizábal Vásquez, better known as Juanes, is a Colombian musician who was a member of the acoustic rock band Ekhymosis and is now a solo artist. In 2000, his solo debut album Fíjate Bien won 3 Latin Grammy Awards. According to his record label, Juanes has sold more than 15 million albums worldwide. Raised in Medellín, Colombia, Juanes began playing guitar at age 7. At age 15, he started his first band, Ekhymosis, in 1988, which went on to release 5 albums, achieving recognition in his native Colombia. The track Czar Cubed Low from the album Niño Gigante in 1992 was very popular. In 1997, after the band broke up, Juanes continued solo, and in 2000 he released the album, Fíjate Bien, which earned him 3 Latin Grammys. His follow-up album, Un Día Normal, was released in 2002 and was later certified platinum in multiple countries throughout Latin America. Juanes' third album, Sangre, which became an international bestseller, managing to position well in a number of countries around the world, achieved success due to the single La Camisa Negra. He has since released Vida as Un Ratico and P.A.R.C.E. On May 29, 2012. Juanes released the album Juanes MTV Unplugged. Altogether, there are several issues that protrude from its wide and varied repertoire. Songs like Volverte a Ver, Para te Amar, Adiós Lapido, Es por ti, and the international hit La Camisa Negra, Me enamoro yo Bortero, La C plus or minus Al, among many others, are part of their musical repertoire that has made the singer acknowledged. According to his label, Universal Music, Juanes has won, among others, 20 Latin Grammy Awards and 2 Grammy Awards, 9 MTV Awards, 2 NRJ Music Awards, 9 Premios Lo Nuestro, 9 Orland Awards, the highest awards possible in the International Song Festival of Via plus or minus a Del Mar, and a long list of awards to across the planet. In December 2009 he was awarded the National Prize for Peace in his native Colombia in category Honorary. In November 2011, as an Artist of the Decade chosen by millions of votes, in Shock Awards, and December 4, 2011 is awarded Chile Telethon Foundation for the Medal of Solidarity during the final drive of the Chilean Solidarity Campaign for disabled children attending the institution. Juanes received the BMI President's Award at the 2010 BMI Latin Awards. Juanes is also known for his humanitarian work, especially with aid for Colombian victims of anti-personnel mines. On February 1, 2012, Juanes performed an acoustic concert for his live album MTV Unplugged, which was released in May of that year. On April 2013, Juanes released an autobiography titled, Chasing the Sun, in which he tells his story through narratives and pictures. The book is an intimate account of his life, success, and all the obstacles he overcame. Early life and Ekhymosis. Juanes was born in Carolina del Principe, Antioquia, Colombia. He is of Basque descent on his father's side and Spanish on his mother's side. When he was 7 years old, his father and brothers began to teach him how to play guitar. His passion for the instrument led him to discover diverse genres of music such as traditional Latin sounds such as tango and vallenato, as well as Colombian folk music. He grew up in Medellín during the height of drug kingpin Pablo Escobar's reign, when the city had the highest homicide rate in the world. During his childhood, Juanes witnessed a civil war in which thousands were killed. He was greatly affected by the violence. His cousin was executed by kidnappers, and his close friend was murdered by gunmen. This period of time shaped his social consciousness, saying Colombia has suffered so much that the only way to go forward is to imagine a better country. His father also died of cancer when he was a child, which caused him to further retreat into music. As a teenager, Juanes was greatly influenced by metal acts such as Metallica. He started the metal band Ekhymosis in 1988, and it released its self-produced debut album, Niño Gigante, that same year. The band released 5 studio albums during its career and shared the stage with acts including Alejandro Sanz, Aterciopelados, and Ricky Martin. However, in Juanes' words, the band couldn't get out of Colombia, and remained very local and confined to the Colombian market. Juanes disbanded the group in 1998 so that he could pursue a solo career. 2000 Present, solo career. 2000 03, Fíjate Bien and Un Normal . In 2000, Juanes released his solo debut Fíjate Bien, produced by Gustavo Santaolalla. The album fared well in Colombia, spending 10 weeks at the #1 position, but was unsuccessful in other countries. The album earned him 3 Latin Grammys for Best New Artist, Best Rock Solo Vocal Album, and Best Rock Song, and Juanes performed at the award show. Later that night, Juanes brought demos for over 40 new songs to Santaolalla's studio, ready to begin work on another album. The follow-up, Un Normal, also produced by Gustavo Santaolalla, who signed him with his first solo album, was released in 2002 and was highly successful in Latin America. The album was certified gold in Colombia during its first day of sales and was certified platinum and multi-platinum in countries including Colombia, Mexico, and Spain. The album spent 92 weeks in the top 10 of Billboard Euro's top Latin albums chart, setting a new record, and spent a total of 2 years on the chart. The album was released after the eligibility deadlines for the 2002 Latin Grammy Awards, but the advance air date for the lead single, Adiós Lápido, allowed it to be nominated for 3 awards and win Best Rock Song. Adiós Lápido topped the singles charts of 12 countries and spent 47 consecutive weeks on the Billboard Hot Latin Tracks. The album also featured Fotografa, a duet with Portuguese-Canadian pop singer Nelly Furtado about the isolation between lovers. Juanes later worked with Furtado on a remix of Powerless, the lead single from her 2003 album Folklore, and on Te Busco Copyright, a single from her 2006 album Loose. Juanes won the most awards at the 2003 Latin Grammy Awards, where he won each of the 5 awards for which he had been nominated, including Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Album of the Year. 2004 05, Mi Sangre . Mi Sangre was released in September 2004 and debuted at #1 on the Billboard Top Latin Albums. The album produced 3 consecutive #1 singles, which held the top chart position for a combined 6 months. The album's 3rd single, La Camisa Negra, was used in Italy in support of neo-fascism by relating it to the uniform used under the regime of Benito Mussolini. In response, left-wing media network Indymedia called for a boycott of the song. Juanes later stated that La Camisa Negra has got nothing to do with fascism or Mussolini. People can interpret music in all kinds of ways, I guess. At the 2005 Latin Grammy Awards, Juanes won 3 additional awards to his 9 previous Grammy Awards. He took the award for Best Rock Song for Nada Valgo Sin Te Ama, Best Rock Solo Album for Mi Sangre and Best Music Video for Volvativa. On December 9, 2005, Juanes performed La Camisa Negra at an international gala in Germany celebrating the 2006 FIFA World Cup final draw evening. In 2006, he recorded a duet of The Shadow of Your Smile with Tony Bennett for Bennett's Duets, an American classic. 2006 09, La Vida es un Ratico . In June 2006, Juanes began a year-long sabbatical to spend time with his wife, model Karen Martinez, and their daughters Luna and Paloma. He was working on an album that was released on October 23, 2007. When asked about the possibility of recording an album in English, Juanes responded, "Singing in Spanish is very important because it's the language in which I think and feel. I respect people that sing in English, but for now I'll keep my Spanish." Juanes planned to launch his own music label, named 4J, in October 2007, to be distributed by the Universal Music Group. He was also working on a new album, titled La Vida es un Ratico. La Vida es un Ratico was released on October 23, 2007 with the first single being Mi Enamora. The second single was Gotas de Agua Dulce, and the third single became the Vallenato fusion of Taz. On December 11, 2007, Juanes performed at the Nobel Peace Prize concert in Oslo, Norway together with a variety of artists, which was broadcast live to over 100 countries. On November 24, 2008, Juanes re-released the album as La Vida. Is Un Ratico, Deluxe Edition, 2 CD DVD combo. The album, aside the 14 original songs, contains 2 previously unreleased songs, Falsas Palabras, and Odio por Amor, which is also the current single. This new re-edition also includes 7 live versions of songs played during his US La Vida tour. As another bonus added, Juanes also included a duet of his song Hoy Me Voy with singer Colby Calette. The DVD contains the music videos of the 4 singles of the CD as well as a few live video recordings of the US tour. 2010 a Euro present, P.A.R.C.E in his Juanes MTV Unplugged. In 2010, Juanes performed in the 2010 FIFA World Cup kickoff concert, as well as the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York. In addition, he released his album P.A.R.C.E, which featured the #1 Billboard's hit Yerba Pero and the top 10 hit Y No Regresas. February 17, Juanes performed live on the 3rd single from their 5th studio album Regalito in the delivery of the Premios Lo Nuestro. The album has sold 1 million copies worldwide. In February 2012, the Colombian singer Juanes took the stage at Juanes MTV Unplugged to record a live album at the direction of Juan Luis Guerra. On March 6, Juanes will release La C Plus or Minus Al as an unreleased song from his Unplugged. Activism. Juanes has said that, "These are your people, young people, people with families, and 4 or 5 of them are dying every day." Juanes established the Mi Sangre Foundation to help victims of anti-personnel mines in 2005. He was named by Time as one of the world's 100 most influential people. Juanes has supported former Colombian President Alvaro Uribe, stating that with this new government of Alvaro Uribe my country seems in better shape. On November 15, 2005, he was honored at the annual benefit gala for Sir Paul McCartney's Adopt a Minefield for his work as a Goodwill Ambassador for United for Colombia, a non-profit organization that raises awareness about the impact of landmines within Colombia. On April 19, 2006, Juanes performed before the European Parliament, as part of a campaign to increase awareness against the use of landmines around the world, including in his native Colombia. He was first singer to perform in the hemicycle where the European Parliament holds its plenary sessions. The Parliament gave a symbolic gift of a $2.5 million to deem in Colombia and to rehabilitate victims of the landmines. In honor of his work and his music, he was given an escopetara by peace activist car copyright Zula Cubed Pez. He later sold it at a fundraiser in Beverly Hills for $17,000. Juanes held a benefit concert on May 24, 2006 in conjunction with KLVE and Univision, which raised roughly $350,000 to care for injured children and provide prosthetics, wheelchairs, and land rehabilitation. On July 19, 2006, French Culture Minister Renaud Donadieu de Vabas awarded Juanes with the highest cultural honor given by France, l'Ordre des Arts et des Lettres, declaring him Knight in the Order of Arts and Letters for his work in social activism. In December 2006, work began on a recreational park for the rehabilitation of the handicapped named Parque Juanes de la Paz in Medellín. The 68,000 square meter facility will cost COL $10.6 billion, financed in part by the government of Medellín, and is to be completed by May 2007. 2009 Peace Concert in Cuba. Going to Cuba is a symbol that it's time to change people's minds, an opportunity to tell the world that people have to change. On August 5, 2009, it was announced that Juanes would hold his second Peace Without Borders concert in Havana's storied Plaza de la Revolución Cubana on September 20, 2009. The Cuban concert coincided with UN International Peace Day and planned to feature up to 12 artists from Spain, Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, Puerto Rico, and Israel. Cuban folk legend Silvio Rodriguez and local salsa stars Los Van Van announced they would also be participating. Prior to the concert, Juanes received criticism by some in the Cuban-American Cuban exile community in Miami who believed it would be seen as an act of support for the communist government of Cuba. Juanes expressed in an interview for Univision that he had no affiliation whatsoever to the Cuban government or their political views and that he saw it only as an artistic performance and nothing more. Willie Quirino, a Cuban-American performer who has not been to Cuba in over 45 years, however came out in defense of the right of Juanes and others to sing in Cuba, a move also supported by Puerto Rican artist Olga +/- On August 14, 2009, Cuban National Assembly President Ricardo Alarcó-Cubden's daughter, Margarita Alarcó-Cubden, spoke of the controversy to CBS News, remarking that the past 50 years of U.S.-Cuba relations makes the War of the Roses seem like child's play. Embittered Cuban Americans now direct their ire at Juanes and at those who want to join him for the concert in Havana. They hurl negative and insulting accusations at potential participants, claiming that bringing their music to the Cuba public is equivalent to propping up a government with which they are at war. It seems that they want to limit the freedom of the Cuban people, censoring the type of music they can listen to. On August 20, 2009, Juanes announced that he had considered cancelling the Peace concert, citing fears for his safety as well as his family, who reside with him in Miami on Key Biscayne. Such fears are contained in an August 15, 2009, police report, and are the result of threatening messages Juanes has received from those he describes as a very small number of extremists. John Riley, Jane's New York-based spokesman, had stated that plans for the concert had not changed and that the vast majority of communication Juanes is receiving from both fans on Twitter and everyday people he comes into contact with in Miami continues to be overwhelmingly supportive. The concert Paz Sin Fronteras, Peace Without Borders, was a total success. Juanes closed it along with 15 other Cuban and international artists and with more than 1 million people attending the concert. While the concert was a total success, it wasn't free of setbacks. In a video aired by the network Mega TV from Miami, Juanes and other artists can be seen crying and ready to cancel the concert minutes before going on stage. The artists were complaining about the strong control, surveillance, and poor treatment they suffered at the hands of government officials and undercover agents. They also complained that they weren't allowing people to attend the concert, unless they were wearing a white shirt, as the organizers suggested as a symbol of peace. Personal life: Juanes met model actress Karen Martinez during the filming of his video Podemos Nos +/-O. On August 6, 2004 they were married. The couple separated in May 2007 after 3 years of marriage due to unresolved differences, but reconciled 4 months later. They have 3 children together, 2 daughters, Luna Aristizábal Martinez, Paloma Aristizábal Martinez, and 1 son, Dante Aristizábal Martinez. Juanes is of Basque descent, is also a vegetarian and currently lives in Key Biscayne, Florida. Discography: Fíjate Bien Unión Día Normal, Mi Sangre, La Vida es Un Ratico, P.A.R.C.E. Loco de Amor. Awards and nominations. Grammy Awards. The Grammy Award is an accolade by the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences of the United States to recognize outstanding achievement on the music industry. Juanes has received 5 nominations and won 2. Latin Grammy Awards. A Latin Grammy Award is an accolade by the Latin Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences to recognize outstanding achievement in the music industry. Juanes has received 20 awards and 26 nominations accredited below, with larger creditors Cali 13 Latin Grammy. See also, Music of Colombia, Colombian rock, life narrated by Juanes. References. External links, official website, English version. Universal Music Latin Entertainment Juanes, official Universal Music Latino website, Mi Sangre Foundation website, Juanes et al. Music.